Hi, this is Jay Sykes bringing you a quick video. Today's topic, I'll be talking about why I'm still glad that I chose the Tudor Pelagos over the Rolex Submariner. Now you may have seen my previous video on that, and let me just give you some background and clarify a few things. So in 2016 I had a bonus from work, and with those funds I wanted to buy a watch. I did not necessarily want to spend all those funds on the watch, but I had some discretionary money available to me, and I was assuming I was going to buy a Rolex Submariner because that's what everyone does, right? It's the predictable dive watch to get. And previously I had not owned a dive watch. I went down to Rolex AD, I was trying on the Submariner, and while I was there I said, let me try some other watches on just for the fun of it. And trying on the Tudor Pelagos, I preferred that over the Rolex Submariner. Now in my previous video, there was quite a bit of comments. I had to delete all the threats and racial comments, but there's quite a bit still there remaining that are non-violent and non-racially motivated. Anyway, so I think a lot of people assume that I bought the Pelagos mainly because it is cheaper than the Rolex Submariner, and at the risk of sounding braggadocious, my bonus actually easily covered the Submariner, so money was not so much an issue in terms of being able to afford it. I realize some people may still think that's the key reason, and that's fine. Go ahead and believe it, but I would think it's more projection on their part. Anyway, so it's been a couple of years since I've had that, and I am very glad I made that decision to not buy the Rolex Submariner. Now, some other people have commented, why are you comparing the Submariner to the Pelagos? It's unfair, it's not right. You should be comparing the Pelagos to the Sea Dweller and the Submariner to the Black Bay. The reason I'm comparing these two watches is because those are the two watches that I was considering buying. I tried on the Black Bay, I didn't like it. I tried on the Sea Dweller, I didn't prefer that as much. So basically I can compare any two watches I prefer. If you're a grown-ass adult, you can compare any two things you like. It's your right as a human being. It may not be fair, but life is not fair. Anyway, that's why I chose to compare those two watches. Those are the top two contenders, for me anyway. You may be different, who knows? Now, one thing happened, it was interesting and kind of funny. I was on holiday, and there was this thing, I think it's called funicular. Please pardon, I'm not sure what the English word is, but it's this carriage you take, it's on cables, and you go to the top of the mountain. It's not a ski lift, but it's like a enclosed carriage. Anyway, maybe funicular. Sorry, I'm not thinking of the word at the moment. Anyway, it's this large thing. It holds maybe about, I would say, 25 people on a cable, and you go to the mountain. And I was on holiday, and while I was in this thing, it's about a maybe 10-minute ride. There was some guys in there, and literally I saw 4 Rolex Submariners on different people in there wearing watches, and it really underscored the fact that that's a very common watch. You really see it quite a bit, and I do spot it very often to this day. And that's one of the things that did not appeal to me. Now, someone would say, why should you care what other people think? If it's common, who cares? If you like it, you like it. Well, I mean, listen, if it's your money, you can have whatever criteria you prefer. If you want something that is common, then fine. If you don't care about that, that's okay. But in my case, for that watch, it was so common, I didn't want to be one of the many sheep or herd in that instance. I didn't want to be the 5th guy on that carriage with a Rolex Submariner. Additionally, kind of related to that, the Tudor Pelagos is, I think it's a great watch, and I've had it about 2 years now, and only one person has spotted it on the street, and he was a watch guy, a fellow watch geek or watch nerd, and we were talking about watches, and it was a great conversation, and I kind of like the fact that the regular punter on the street is not going to notice the Tudor Pelagos, but the regular punter would easily notice the Rolex Submariner. So I kind of like that less common. Now, why else am I glad I chose the Tudor Pelagos? Well, let's face it, the Rolex Submariner is not a tool watch. It's a dressy dive watch. You can argue, any modern automatic watch is not a tool watch, and I would agree with that. However, the Pelagos is less versatile. It's not a dressy watch, and that's why it appeals to me. It's like a titanium tank. It's bigger, chunkier, I believe a better color than black or green. So anyway, after all this, I'm glad I have my Tudor Pelagos. Now, many people also commented about resale value, and once again, for me, I'm not a watch flipper. Certainly, I have bought and sold some watches, not with the intent of making a profit, but more just because my tastes have changed. So I have sold some watches, but when it comes down to buying a watch, I try to find the best price for that watch available, and I'm not overly concerned with resale value. If that's your priority, then great, but that does not apply to me. I'm perfectly fine buying a watch that I like for a good price for that watch, and if I don't prefer it a year later, I'm okay selling it and losing $1,000. That's not a problem for me. Anyway, so some final thoughts on why I chose and why I still am glad I chose the Tudor Pelagos over the Rolex Submariner. Now, please feel free to leave any angry comments below, or any questions or non-angry comments. Thank you for watching. This is Jay Sykes, hoping you have a nice day. If possible, bye.